Let's talk about the characteristics of a great online business to acquire. What makes an online business good for an acquisition target? What should you be looking for if you're looking to buy an online business? That's what I'm going to be talking about. Now, real quick, here's the plug before we jump into it. If you're interested in acquiring an established and profitable online business, you got to sign up for the Acumen Wire. It's a newsletter I run where every week I send out a handful of good, established, and profitable online businesses that are likely to stand the test of time going forward and are also usually SBA eligible. I send out a few of those deals every week. So head on over to acumenwire.com, put in your email address, click the subscribe button, go in your email and confirm your subscription, and boom, you will get these emails as I send the deals out. I usually send out one email a week with about 3 listings in it. If it's a busy week where there's a lot of good online businesses that were listed for sale, and mind you, very few deals actually make it into this list because most of the ones I look at, I'm like, wow, this is crap. But if it was a good week or a busy week where a lot of good listings hit the market, might send out 2 emails a week, but typically 1 a week. Acumenwire.com. Head on over there and subscribe if you're interested in acquiring an established and profitable online business. And I've even made offers. I've not yet acquired, but I have made offers on some of the businesses that I've included in this list for the last couple months that I have been running it. So, on that note, let's jump back to this right here and what we're going to be talking about, the characteristics of a great online business to acquire. Now, keep in mind, this is relative to myself. That said, these parameters broadly apply to all online businesses. No matter who you are, you should find something to take away from this, but there may be some things that don't apply to you, particularly if you have expertise in a particular niche. About myself, well, I've been running businesses since 2010. I started an e-commerce business and also a home service business around that time. And in between then and now, I've owned, started, sold, acquired multiple businesses, both home service businesses and online businesses. Right now, I still own one home service business, but I'm looking to acquire more online businesses. And well, let's go into the list at this point here with the first thing, and that is number one, it lives in the computer. So that would mean that it should be a digital product, digital service, or 3PL e-commerce. Digital product and digital service, right? Digital product is like a course or an info product. Digital service might be um, something like bookkeeping is actually a digital service basically right now. I've actually looked at a few of those businesses recently, but maybe video editing, podcast editing. I've seen those types of businesses come up. Graphic design, I've seen businesses related to finance and real estate as a digital service type of business, some types of title transaction companies. I can't remember all the details of them, but they're things that can all be done in the computer and don't need any physical assets in the real world. Now, with e-commerce, you have a physical product unless you're selling a digital product. But by e-commerce here, I'm referring to a digital product. Let's just say that you're selling coffee cups, right? You have a coffee cup that needs to exist in the real world. Well, you can either warehouse that yourself or you can use a third party logistics to fulfill the order. I would focus on and I would consider, a great e-commerce business to buy, one that can fulfill these by 3PL, third-party logistics, meaning you don't have to pay for warehouse, you don't have to pay warehousing staff, you don't have to pay insurance on your warehouse, right? Like you just pay one fee, your items get sent to 3PL, they may do some little things like packaging it or bundling things in a kit, and bing, bang, boom, they send it out. It's going to be cheaper and it's going to be less of a headache. It's also going to be more appealing to buyers because, well, as a buyer, I'm saying we should look out for this. Therefore, there are other buyers that are going to want to do it. Now, the other thing that often comes up here is drop shipping. The reason why I don't have drop ship on here, it is technically a viable option, but that is because items that are drop shipped tend to be arbitraged away in value. And that means that you might find success drop shipping one item, but it is usually not sustainable because then other people can start drop shipping it themselves. And there's no, actual value that you're creating in the value chain. And ultimately other people get in there and arbitrage away the money that you're making on this transaction. It doesn't happen all the time, but that is the general rule of thumb. Occasionally you will find businesses that are drop shipping and are doing incredibly well with it. It does happen, but it is not the norm. So I would look for a business that has a 3PL in place and everything lives in the computer. The other thing, too, that you occasionally see with e-commerce and sometimes digital service businesses is they will have some type of office. I've ran across some digital service businesses where it's like Everything is fundamentally done online. Maybe they have a local office and maybe like one customer a month pops in to, drop off or pick up some type of file or something, but the owner or the seller likes to have everybody come into the office, and work from there. It seems unnecessary to me, but you kind of have to, investigate that on a case by case basis. Like, for example, I did look at a bookkeeping business recently, and like half of their clients were spread out nationally, but the other half of them were in one particular city, let's just say in Las Vegas, right? So they had a bunch of local clients, but then their other clients were spread out nationally. If you get rid of that office in Las Vegas or nobody's there or whatever, you're going to lose all of those clients and half that revenue, right? So it didn't really, look to me to be like a very viable acquisition. Sure, I could have valued it, and substantially discounted that revenue, but that seller is not going to take that offer, etc. So, yeah, make sure that, businesses live in the computer if you're looking for an online business, particularly if you want the freedom. There's quite a few businesses where you'll find they're listed by online business brokers and typically listed as remote, but they do have some type of physical presence. I've ran across quite a few of them. Next up, stable revenue and profit, right? A downtrend is not necessarily bad if you're going to add value to the business. An uptrend is generally good, but hockey stick growth isn't good. So if you see a business that, in the last 3 years has just had double digit compounding returns over the last couple of years, that's not sustainable, right? You can't value the business on that is going to happen. In fact, you may even need to discount it a bit, considering the fact that some of those, customers probably aren't going to stick. They're going to churn. Maybe they were enticed with a real sweet offer. There was hard selling tactics. But when you see a lot of hockey stick growth, it's usually not sustainable, A, going forward, because in that case, the current seller would just ride out the growth. And B, churn tends to be higher after periods of hockey stick growth where the business itself is just aggressively signing people up, people that may not be qualified or people that may not be fully interested in the product. So, yeah, I don't like to see hockey stick growth. Just, stable and steady, maybe no more than 20% growth year over year. And mind you, 20% growth year over year means that the business will have doubled in revenue in, less than 4 years, roughly. I think that'd be about 3.6 years. You could do 72 or 74 divided by 20. Yeah, some of you guys might remember that trick from finance, 74 or 72. But anyways, yes, at 20% compounded annually in less than 4 years, it's doubling in revenue. So that's pretty good growth. I don't really see any more than that as being sustainable. Next up, no owner persona. So occasionally you'll run across an online business, and I did run across one recently where the business fundamentally thrived because the owner was like a guru figure in the space. It was in the real estate info product space, and that space is just basically as gurued out as you can be, right? Like there's all kinds of gurus in there. They sell products to their following, yada, yada, yada. But the problem with that is, well, when you get rid of the guru and you become the new guru, well, you're not a guru, right? Like you're just the business owner at that point. The following probably isn't going to stick. In the followers and the following, I mean, that is the people buying the courses, right? They're probably not going to stick around. They bought because they were personally vested in the guru figure. They were identifying socially with his persona, or they wanted to be, a part of his crowd, right? The business was not thriving necessarily because they had an audience and an offer fit. The business was thriving because that persona was saying, buy this. And you see this, a lot in the real estate businesses and a lot in other industries too. There's no shortage of gurus, influencers, and coaches out there in 2024. But it's just very risky to step into these businesses and buy them. And I have seen deals where people buy them and literally over the course of a year, their business just basically fizzles out, right? The subscriptions churn, they don't renew. And ultimately, a year later, they're left with a business that's doing, you know, probably 80% less. And I think that might even be generous in revenue just because nobody's buying it. It's hard to be a guru. It's a skill to be a guru and it's a skill to be an influencer. And unless you know you have that skill, which very few people do, I will say, you don't want to be buying somebody else's guru-ness, because not only do you have to be a guru, but you have to take over their guru-ness. It's just a complicated thing to do and something I would not get into. So I would look for a business that has no owner persona here, right? So if we kind of lump these back into characteristics, one, it lives in the computer, it has stable revenue and profit, and does not have an owner persona, in the marketing and promotional material. Next up, with that, it's an established brand. It exists without a traffic source. There's so many online businesses that I see that if you took away their traffic source, whether that's Google search, which is incredibly risky, or paid traffic from any source, I guess that would be your two traffic sources, organic, Google, or paid, it just doesn't exist. It has not established a brand. So a good online business, a characteristic you want to look for is one that has established a brand. And you could look up how much search traffic it has and look to see its brand name as one of its keywords. In other words, people go to Google, they type in that brand name to come directly to their website and do business with them. Businesses with an established brand are just better. I guess I don't know where I was going with that or what I was going to say, but yeah, you really need to find an online business with an established brand. It is, I think, truly an ingredient for success. And then the business should have products from low ticket to high ticket. Now, this one here is not a necessity, right? I come back to all these up here and I review them, and yes, I need a business that lives in the computer. I would only buy a business with stable revenue and profit. I would only buy a business with no owner persona. I would only buy a business with established brand. I would like to buy a business that has products from low ticket to high ticket. But in the good ones, you will find this. Some businesses, you won't. If it's selling, I don't know, some type of high end consulting service, maybe. I don't really know what a good example of this would be. But maybe let's just say it's selling drones, like commercial high end use drones, and the cheapest drone is $25,000 or something, right? I guess you could make an argue that that's maybe low ticket to the market. But, anyways, where I'm going with this is it's easy to get customers to buy that low ticket offer. So I like businesses that always have a low ticket offer, sub $50, that can be sold, and then you get customers into your system, and that usually covers your cost of acquisition. All right, so you really don't make any money on it, but it covers your cost of acquiring a new customer. And then you can take them up and sell them higher ticket products later on. I like this, and I think this is characteristic of a great online business to buy, but again, it is not necessity. And then finally, or not finally, but next to finally, evergreen products. Say no to trends. Sometimes you see online businesses that are just doing really well, but they're kind of around trendy products. And you'll find a lot of these in the print on demand space, like maybe print on demand products that have some type of catchy slogan on a shirt, some type of fanware or spoof anime art or something like that. Clothing, designer style products. A lot of products, I looked at one recently, it was a men's grooming product that was kind of focused on sustainability type of thing. But I just looked at it and I'm like, this is not evergreen. This is trending right now, but I personally don't believe this business and this product will always be this robust if and when this trend, kind of falls out. So I like to see evergreen products. One of the ones recently that I covered in the Acumen Wire here, come on over to this. Well, I think both of these are, but this one stands out in particular. An e-commerce business in the pressure washing industry. Well, guess what? As long as there are buildings and automobiles in the environment on planet Earth, things are going to need to be pressure washed. All right, so this business is essentially as evergreen as they come. This one right here, an online guitar school. Well, people are pretty much always, I think, for the foreseeable future, right? The next 20 years, going to have an interest in guitar. I wouldn't say that there's a major trend in playing the guitar right now. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I wouldn't say that it's like a fad type of thing. I wouldn't say it's something that's gonna go away. But 50 years ago, people wanted to learn how to play the guitar. 10 years ago, they did, and still today, I know friends that are learning to play the guitar right now. They're not customers of this business, but they are, getting coaching and teaching on guitar learning or guitar playing, right? So I think this business is evergreen as well. Now, one of the Achilles heels of this business is that it is around some type of owner persona or guru figure, and I think I mentioned that up here. But has the Achilles heel of being owner persona driven, which makes it a risky acquisition. This business makes for an interesting study, but I would recommend buyers steer clear of this unless they could work out a favorable earnout type of agreement. If the seller wants to maximize exit value, they need to proactively separate themselves from the marketing content, right? And maybe the seller will do that if nobody buys their business, or maybe somebody will not see this video and they will buy it. Unknown. But those kind of things that I include in the newsletter. And I think that's enough on evergreen products. Finally, here, clear growth opportunities within the current market fit for the business. Okay. Let's talk about this. Number one, if you're going to buy a business, you should look at the business and say, hey, I see ways that I can grow this, right? Not things I'm going to try, but you should look at it and confidently say, I can grow this business. You don't want to look at an online business and say, yeah, I think I can run it, right? I think I can keep it stable. You want to look at it and see ways that you can grow it. Online business is constantly changing. So unlike, say, a traditional, brick and mortar business, like I own an epoxy flooring and concrete coating business, that business really doesn't need you to be on, kind of on your toes with things and need to be at the forefront of a changing and dynamic environment. Basically, we need to do epoxy flooring. We need to do it good. We need to make sure our customers are happy. And that's basically it. With online businesses, platforms and the market is constantly changing. So I think it's crucial that if you're buying an online business as opposed to a traditional business, you see clear growth opportunities. Now, let's go on to this second line. Within current market fit, what I see a lot of, particularly in brokered listings, is the broker will suggest ways for growing, but they're really not within the market fit of the business as it is. For example, let's see here. What would be a good example? You might, going back to, I was going to say the bookkeeping. I'll try to come up with a better one than this, but going back to the bookkeeping, right? What if the bookkeeping firm serves the, landscaping industry, right? A broker might say, pursue other industries, pursue, the plumbing industry or something as a bookkeeper. That might be extreme, but what about the pressure washing business? A way of growing it might be to include household cleaning products or something like that. You see these ways for growth in a business that essentially require you to create another business or like a separate division within the business. That, in my opinion, is not good. You want to kind of take stock of the products and resources the business has and say, what can I do to grow within these confines? I don't want to start a new division. I don't want to source new products because I might as well just start a business, doing that if I'm going to do it. There's no indication or proof that, my customers for this product are going to want that product. You got to make sure that it's tightly interwoven and that it's something already existing in the business that you can grow, or something that you can, do to grow a particular segment of the business that's already existing, right? Like bring in a new marketing channel. Maybe that is bundle your products. Maybe that is improve the existing product. Something like that. It has to be within the current market fit. And I think that's crucial because too often I see a lot of teasers from brokers that just have these, growth opportunities of doing this, doing this, doing this. And it's like, well, you just rattled off 3 different businesses that you really are telling me to start and bolt on. And yeah, of course it's going to grow, but there's no real proof of concept that they're going to work or that it's going to be any value having this business. So in that case, I might as well just go out and start a separate business doing that other growth opportunity separately. Right. So yeah, these are the characteristics I think that make a great online business. Now, it's not all encompassing. There's probably other things out there that I missed, but this is really what I look for in an online business that I would acquire. Just to kind of close down on it, lives in the computer, has stable revenue and profit, no owner persona involved in it, has an established brand, has products from low ticket to high ticket, has evergreen products, and has clear growth opportunities within the current market fit. On that note, hey, if you haven't done it already, head on over to acumenwire.com and subscribe, where I will send you deals of established and profitable online businesses that seem like high quality, good businesses. I'll send them to your inbox via my newsletter. Head on over to acumenwire.com and subscribe. And if you have any questions or if you feel like there's anything I missed out on, let me know in the comments below. On that note, I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. I'm calling it a wrap.